logical thinking ability. Knowledge on subject matter is very important. So suppose if you are going for an interview for a finance job, somebody asks you the basic question, what is NPV, IRR, all these things. These are you should know that, and because these are when you go into a finance role, for example, these basic tools you need to know. What you have learned, because this is what you will be doing initially. Focus is important. I see that when you go into a company, make sure when you go, you think very carefully, because it looks really bad on a person's CV if a person keeps on switching jobs. So if a person joins an organization and then say for a little bit more increment in salary he switches, then again he switches, then again he switches. It reflects bad, because for a company, it is we in the initial years of a person joining an organization, is the company who is spending the money, because what we have seen, it takes about a year or two. I would say about 2 years for any person in an organization to pay back to the company or to work towards some goals achievement of the company, have some decision making power. So initially we are always nurturing. Of course, the employee also does contribute to the performance of the company, but it is very important that you focus. Don't just take a job for the heck of it. Change once, yes. You should have the mentality of changing when you see that you are actually going one step up in your career. If you think that, okay, if I move there, I'll take a more, a bigger role maybe, or if your growth is somehow restricted where you are and you see you are not going to grow in future, then maybe, things like that you can see. Communication skills is extremely important. See that people, a lot of times, we cannot communicate. We communicate, but we don't know what the other person understood. We say one thing, the person understands something different. In organizations, there is a lot of negotiations. In organizations, there is a lot of work going on where there could also be some dispute with the contractor. Maybe the contractor did not do a particular job that he was supposed to do, and then you have to sit with them. You have to communicate. You have to come out with a solution, and then move on. Because every time, it is just not practical in any organization that you start fighting. Fighting is not an option. Solution is what we always focus on, and for that, generally communication skills are very important. Your attitude is very important. Attitude towards work, attitude towards having a positive attitude is extremely important. So when we are hiring people, we are looking, we are trying to find out in the interview whether what kind of attitude a person has. And most importantly, being a team player. Today, we value more a person who will be good in a team rather than individual brilliance. Individual brilliance is also important, but a lot of work today in organizations happens in teams, and this culture of being in a team, being able to handle each other. So that's why all other things become very important, like communication skill, attitude, being honest and genuine. All those attributes of your personality matter a lot when you're working in teams. And I'm sure in your courses here, in some sort of assignments, you also have groups and teams that you do your assignments, and this is a really very good experience that you are gaining right now, because at the very basic level you are understanding the dynamics. In any group in MBA, if you're doing some sort of an assignment, say if it's a group of 5, maybe one of the person is a bit relaxed, you won't do that much. One person will probably create some sort of problem. No, I don't like this, you have to do this. One person is generally, one or two persons are generally the drivers. They end up doing most of the work. And so every group has its own own dynamics and you observe the dynamics. It is very important. If you have a dispute within the group, then it means your group dynamics are not okay. So you have to understand each other's strengths and work around with it. A person who is smart, who is doing, yes, he or she will lead the project, he will do it. But it doesn't mean that, you just sit back and relax. You support wherever possible. So, at the end of the day, the result which comes out reflects the whole team. It doesn't reflect that individual person who was brilliant, or it doesn't reflect that one person who was lazy. The result is the reflection of the team. So when the teams are together, that is where the success comes in, if they are gelling in well. Just want to show you a small video on this.
Once upon a time, a turtle and a rabbit had an argument about who was faster. They decided to settle the argument with a race. The turtle and the rabbit both agreed on a route and started off the race. The rabbit shot ahead and ran briskly for some time. Then, seeing he was far ahead of the turtle, he thought he'd sit under a tree for some time and relax before continuing the race. He sat under the tree and soon fell asleep. The turtle, plodding on, overtook him and soon finished the race, emerging as the undisputed champ. The rabbit woke up and realized that he'd lost the race. The moral of the story is that slow and steady wins the race. This is the version of the story that we've all grown up with. But our version of the story continues. The rabbit was disappointed at losing the race, and he did some thinking. He realized that he'd lost the race only because he had been overconfident, careless, and lax. If he had not taken things for granted, there's no way the turtle could have beaten him. So, he challenged the turtle to another race. The turtle agreed. This time, the rabbit went all out and ran without stopping from start to finish. He won by several miles. The moral of the story? Fast and consistent will always beat the slow and steady. It's good to be slow and steady, but it's better to be fast and reliable. But the story doesn't end here. The turtle did some thinking this time and realized that there's no way he can beat the rabbit in a race the way it was currently formatted. He thought for a while and then challenged the rabbit to another race, but on a slightly different route. The rabbit agreed. The turtle and rabbit started off. In keeping with his self-made commitment to be consistently fast, the rabbit took off and ran at top speed until he came to a broad river. The finishing line was a couple of kilometers on the other side of the river. The rabbit sat there, wondering what to do. In the meantime, the turtle trundled along, got into the river, swam to the opposite bank, continued walking, and finished the race. The moral of the story? First, identify your core competency, and then change the playing field to suit your core competency. The story still hasn't ended. The turtle and rabbit by this time had become pretty good friends, and they did some thinking together. Both realized that the last race could have been run much better. So, the turtle and rabbit decided to do the last race again, but to run as a team this time. They started off, and this time, the rabbit carried the turtle till the riverbank. There, the turtle took over and swam across with the rabbit on his back. On the opposite bank, the rabbit again carried the turtle, and they reached the finishing line together. The turtle and rabbit felt a greater sense of satisfaction than they felt earlier. The moral of the story? It's good to be individually brilliant and to have strong core competencies. But unless you're able to work in a team and harness each other's core competencies, you'll always perform below par because there will always be situations at which you'll do poorly and someone else does well. Teamwork is mainly about situational leadership, letting the person with the relevant core competency for a situation take leadership. And that is the end of the story.
Just about teamwork, it was very interesting. I really like this video, and we play this also internally. We have this annual vision and values celebration in our company every year. So we played this in our last event. Just want to end with two quotes from Albert Einstein. The first one is, "I have no specific talent. I am only passionately curious." I saw one quote here also about being curious. So in any organization, we feel that when we are doing something, we always have to keep on thinking. We cannot sit idle on the laurels already achieved. We keep thinking. We keep doing something new, because the day we stop thinking is the day the company starts going to go down. And this is the basic philosophy of life generally. Keep thinking about issues. Be curious. Ask questions. Especially your students. This is the time you are totally free to ask any questions that you want. You have time to study, you have time to gain knowledge. Of course, you need to have a balanced life also, not only study, but also do some activity, do some social work. Balance your time like that. But always be curious, because curiosity will make you learn more and more and more and more. While you are here, this is a very good quote. Education is what remains after one has forgotten what one has learned in school. Of course, the things that you're learning here, some of the tools you will definitely apply. When you choose a certain career path, a certain number of tools that you learn here will apply. If you, for example, today ask me a very complicated, finance problem, maybe you can do better than me because I don't use it anymore. But it is the whole experience of this whole education that you are having here, and really you all are really privileged to be able to study in one of the top MBA programs of the city. And once you go in your professional life, in your subconscious, you will have all this knowledge, all this learning. So focus on this. Focus what you are doing today. Do all the activities that you are doing today. Study. As I said, keep a balanced approach to life, and for sure you will be able to succeed in life. So with this, I would like to end my speech. I hope I could encourage you, or I hope I could provide you some sort of ideas on corporate life, about a little bit about BSRM. And I wish you all the best of luck.